So yesterday you were telling me about when you were born that your dad was out in the fields and your mom was alone and then she had to get her neighbor or something like that. Or somebody did when you were born.
Yeah, it was during harvest time, July, of course. And
Harvesting corn?
No, that was a little early for corn.
Yes.
It was probably oats at that time. And I guess Mama started to have labor pains. I don't know whether she was due yet or not. I don't know. But it kind of seems like maybe she wasn't. Because she wasn't. Otherwise, I think she would have had somebody there.
I see.
But anyway, there was a neighbor lived across the road, a Mrs. Como, and I'm sure she got her right away. I'm sure there was somebody with her. She would have, I'm sure, had her sister May.
Sure.
But May had 5 little kids. And let me see. I think she would have been pregnant because it was John.
May?
May might have been pregnant with.
So John's older than Eileen?
No, I've got that mixed up. Anyway, we better back up here. But anyway, so I think my mother was having a difficult birth. I'm sure there was a doctor there too. But anyway.
You said they called the priest.
Well, this is what I'm getting to now. I'm probably tell a little different tale today.
Oh, okay.
Because a little different things come back to me. You see, where was I?
Mrs. Como and the doctor were there, you thought.
Yeah, but anyway, I guess since my mother was not doing too well, they had called the priest, and he came out. But I guess he felt like there should be somebody else, some family member helping. So he phoned my aunt, who was married but had no children, and he said, "You get out here right away, Kit." That was her name. So
they had a car, I guess, since they lived in town.
Yeah, they lived in town, right. Yeah, so she became my
godmother. Godmother.
Godmother, that's right, yeah.
What was her husband's name? He's your godfather.
Tom Untermeyer. Very German name.
Oh.
And they were farmers in the beginning, I guess. I don't ever remember when they were farmers. I just remember when they were living in town. And I don't know if he had retired at that time, because I don't ever remember doing anything. But
I thought he sold insurance or something.
No, I think we're thinking of the man that the Teagles that fell down the stairs. Yeah.
Oh, I see. So Kit's husband didn't work then.
Well, maybe he had
in town.
Not that I know if he ever did. But I can remember they had their backyard, and they were like Kelly. They had a few chickens.
Oh.
And I can remember. Have you ever seen those artificial eggs?
Yeah, Kelly told me about those.
Well, they had those, and they had them in their nests and so on.
Right.
And I remember going out with Tommy. Tommy was a real nice guy, though. I really liked him. He was kind. Going out with him and collecting eggs, and he'd always give me these artificial ones, so for sure I got an egg. Yeah.
Yeah, Kelly bought some. They bought some because they wanted to train the chickens to go back in their pen there, and
yeah,
because they were laying eggs where ducks were laying eggs. I guess they thought they'd follow the ducks or something.
Yeah.
No.
And their house was almost directly across from the Marshall Hospital.
Oh.
This has nothing to the story, but
No, but it's interesting. So the hospital in 1921 would have been somebody's house, right? Or no, it was a hospital.
It was a regular hospital. I guess it's finally gone, but it was there for years.
Oh, really?
In fact, I think it kind of went to like a nursing home, and then, but I think the last I heard it was finally gone, but it was there for many years, yeah.
Hmm. And it was owned by 2 doctors.
Right. And I can remember when May's husband was hurt with that tractor accident.
Right.
I can remember going, probably the first time I'd ever been in the hospital, and going there. And I can see him lying in the bed like this. He was talking and looked, you know.
Oh, really?
I mean, not well, but he didn't look bad. But he had punctured lungs, so I guess nowadays, I guess that's.
I don't know.
Yeah, I don't think that's it's a problem, but you don't
wouldn't
die
kill
from
you?
it.
Oh.
So I don't know whether they were doing all they could. He seemed to be pretty good. I was kind of surprised.
So maybe he got an infection or something? Is that what would happen?
Could have.
Mm.
The 2 doctors that owned the hospital were Gray and Ford.
Mm.
And Dr. Ford's son was in my high school graduating class. He was a very poor student, I can still remember, except when he got into a science class, and he was just a whiz, I guess.
Wow.
And he went on to Notre Dame and graduated.
Oh.
And eventually he became something at the Mayo Clinic.
Huh.
Yeah. But the last I heard about him, that he'd gotten into drugs somehow.
Oh, dear.
It's kind of sad.
Huh.
I don't know if there's any truth to that or not, but anyway.
Huh.
But anyway, Dr. Ford his name was John, and they had 2 daughters. There was just the one son, but this one son became the doctor
Oh,
too.
I see. Yeah, you'd think as a doctor, you'd kind of, I guess they can do.
Well, it's so available to them.
Yeah,
I think
guess
that's
so.
the problem.
Yeah, pain medicine.
Yeah.
Or try to keep going or whatever, yeah. Mm. Forget what else you were telling me about yesterday.
You gotta take notes, Mary. You gotta take notes, because
Yeah,
I
kinda-
can't.
I told myself to keep remembering.
I'll give you a rest while you can think. Because I can't remember what I talked about last night.